Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Ready for another Thursday of Commands and Colors Ancients. And we got a good one tonight. It's a short one, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
So this will wrap up our first little barbarian
It
trilogy.
will, yeah. Our first three scenarios here tonight were known kind of as a group of what they call the Celtic Wars, which represent the as we saw in the first two scenarios, the Romans kind of taking on the Gauls and between the Cisalpine and the Transalpine, and then Telamon last week. Tonight with Clastidium, the Romans are taking it right into the heartland of the Cisalpine Gauls, which we remember is the northern part of Italy there, that central Po Valley that runs all the way up to sort of the Swiss border and the French border. Well, that's where we're laying our scene tonight. This whole section of three scenarios was really only a 5 year period from about 226 to 221 here. So we're kind of at the end of that. In the first, literally, those first two scenarios were back to back in 225.
They were.
They
They were
they
were
were
days after each other.
exactly. So we're going to jump ahead just a couple of years now. The Romans have decided that their policy towards the Cisalpine Gauls is to try to keep them subservient through force. And so they spend a great deal of time each year with their Roman consuls sending military expeditions into these tribal areas. And the specific one tonight that we'll be talking about is called the Insubres, which is a group of Celtic tribes here, the Cisalpine Gauls, which are north of the Po Valley, but they're really kind of very centralized. They're the core of it. And they were sort of the target of the Romans' ferocity there for the last couple of years after those first two battles that we fought. And in 223, the two consuls at that time were Publius Furius Philus and Gaius Flaminius. And they decided that the best thing to do was to keep the pressure on the Gauls. And after much campaigning in there each year, the Insubres decided that they were going to try to sue for peace. So they send a few of their unwashed ambassadors to Rome under flag of truce, and they asked the Roman Senate and the Roman consuls if they could come to some sort of agreement of some terms of peace to end this bloody war. And by the time they got there, the Romans had actually gotten two new consuls because they get two new ones every year. And the new ones were Marcus Claudius Marcellus, who we see here on the map tonight, and Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio Calvus. And the two of them outwardly they've seen battle. They've seen what the Gauls are like, and so they try to convince the Senate to reject these proposals for peace and say, look, we've got these Gauls right where we want them. We don't need to sue for peace on their terms. And they are successful. The Roman Senate rejects the ambassadors. They send them back to the Insubres territory there in Cisalpine Gaul. And once they get back to their home territory, they say, that's fine. If you want to go to war, we're going to fight to the last man, but we're going to get some help. And they do what every Gaul always does, is they hire out some mercenaries from the other side of the mountains, the bigger, the hairier guys from the Transalpine, the Gestati that we've seen over the last couple of battles. So they hire about 10,000 of them to come and act as an army, a force. They'll probably think of it as a home guard, but it is going to be offensive in nature. And that's what they do. They organize and they decide that they will attempt to repel the Romans at this point. And the Romans decide, well, now it's open season. So they're raising an army and they decide to push forth back into the Insubres territory. And they surround and besiege a fortified town called Acre, which is in the northernmost part of the Cisalpine area. And the only way that the Gauls can do anything about this is to do likewise in kind. So they realize they're never going to fight their way out of the siege. So they take these new hired mercenaries under Britomartus that we see here. He's also known as Britomartus because of a translation issue between the various sources. So depending on what you like, Britomarus or Britomartus, which we see here, he takes his force of 10,000 and he approaches the namesake town of tonight's battle, Clastidium, which is a Roman fortified town, and they do the exact same thing. They surround that town and they attempt to besiege it to get them to either fall or just become suppliant to the Gauls' wishes. And now the Romans are in a hot spot because they realize, okay, the only way we can complete our siege is to free our town. So Marcellus confers with his other consul Scipio, and they decide that he'll peel off a smaller force of mostly cavalry. This is about 3,200. They are known as equites, which is mostly cavalry. I mean, it's true cavalry in the source in the sense that they are horsemen with swords, but we would also consider them kind of quasi knights, sort of the Roman version of knights. They're pikemen on horseback. So there's a little bit of both here that are represented by these medium cavalry. And so they go and they try to break the siege of Clastidium, which is across the Po River. The Gauls have actually crossed over the river. So the first bit of action that we see here, Marcellus decides to widen his line and then take the wings and go for the flanks. Now, Britomartus has had very little advance notice that they're coming, so he has pulled his forces back away from the siege and is now setting them into line of battle. But it is a hurried preparation, so it's not nearly as effective as he hopes it would be. But he meets the forces on the flanks, and they actually manage to tie them up a little bit, and in some cases they are able to panic the horses. And in fact, Marcellus, his own horse, is panicked, but he manages to play it off in sort of a triumphal fashion, where it looks like he's making this grand gesture of praising the gods. And so he plays it off very, very easily so that his forces don't look like he's losing control of his horse. And at that point, Britomartus has ridden to the front of his line, and in true Gallic fashion, he has called out the leader of the opposing side, man to man, for single combat. And the Roman decides to accept that challenge. So he comes forward, he spurs on his horse, lowers his lance, and immediately, on the first pass, unseats Britomartus from his horse. Probably killing him in that first lance piercing, but just for good measure, like any Roman, he goes and he sticks his lance in him a couple more times just to make sure that he's dead. And it just reminds me of our favorite archaeologist in that scene where he just takes out an Egyptian swordsman with one shot because he just doesn't have the time for this kind of ensuing combat that we would have expected. But with Britomartus falling, the Gauls become obviously immediately panicked, and they lose battle cohesion, and that retreat starts to turn into a rout, and the Romans pursue. And once again, with their philosophy of no quarter with these Gauls, they hack down many of them in the pursuit. The rest of them they drive into the Po River, and the surviving ones would flee back towards their home territories in the Insubres. And for his amazing defeat of Britomartus, Marcellus actually earns the Roman honorarium known as Spolia Opima, which is the greatest reward. He actually took the armor off of Britomartus, which was quite intricate and decorative and bejeweled in some cases. So he proved that the Romans are just not to be trifled with here, and this was an extremely short battle. It was very chaotic, but it was all horse-driven, and once the leader fell, we saw that the Gauls were really just no match at all for the Romans. So that is our story tonight. I'm curious as to how the War Council will reflect that. So why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
That sounded pretty brutal. Tonight, if you look at the War Council, we're only playing to 4 banners, so short and sweet, just like the actual battle, to represent, I guess, the the Roman strategy and organization, they'll have 6 command cards, but the Gauls will only have 4. The Romans have 3 leaders, with Marcellus being the only named leader in the center. The Gauls only have 1 leader. So they will definitely get the advantage of leader dice here. You can see the array of forces. The Romans have their mounted forces as well as their lightly armed velites, their light infantry forces, arrayed against mostly auxilia, it looks like, with 2 units of warriors there in the back line and a few light forces and 2 mounted units up front to take the brunt of the charge. So short, sweet, and to the point.
Yes.
Let's see how this goes.
Those lights there on the Roman front represent the actual legionnaires. There were 600 of them. And they didn't even use them. They just sat at the back and go, "Nah, they got this. We're fine." So you are going first. So why don't you draw your
Yep,
cards?
the Romans will go first. So I guess I'll draw my 6. And as always, before we begin a battle, let me wish you the best of luck.
And best of luck to you, Roman pig dog.
Well, this will be a very interesting battle.
All right.
Okay.
I have my 4, so lead us off. Will you open with the historical charge? He wonders aloud.
We will have to play as the cards dictate.
Okay.
So we're going to order 3 units in the center. So we're going to order those 3.
Just couldn't resist, could you?
I play what I'm dealt.
That's true. I know.
All right. My velites shall throw their light javelins across the field. 1 die. Nothing. Let's see if that leader dice comes back to haunt me. As our first cavalry unit will engage Britomartus. 3 dice with leader bonus.
I would say yes. Yes, it does.
He is unhorsed.
Unhorsed. All right, you are 25% of the way to victory here.
All right, and
Right.
oh, I rolled 2 dice there. First one, I double clicked.
Oh, okay.
Button.
So it was just
So the first one was a cross sword. Second one was heavy.
All right.
So Britomartus lives.
It does. It falls back.
All right. Guess we will press the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And medium cavalry can advance, move 1, and battle again.
Sure. Sure you don't want to move one extra one?
No, I'm good there.
Okay.
So under Marcellus's watchful eye, they shall press the attack with another 3 dice. And this time only scoring 1 hit.
All right. So let's see if you kill Britomartus.
All right, so 2 dice for that.
Close.
Close.
Yes. All right, we will battle back with 3 dice plus leader bonus. And force a double retreat. Ha-ha! Blood!
So 1, 2, 3, 1. Yep. Well. All right then. This game.
2 units in the center. Will be those 2. So we'll go 2, 3, and 1. And Britomartus will attempt to take out those velites, or at least push them away. What would they like to do?
They're made of stern stuff. They'll stand.
All right. Here's 3 dice plus leader bonus. And we will strike twice and send them packing.
Yeah, all right. Do this.
All right. I think we will stand firm and not go any farther. Back to you.
just gonna get it out of the way.
Yes.
I just got it. So
I was hoping maybe I could avoid it, but at least I've narrowed it down a bit.
all right. So equal to command. My command is 6. So that's all my mounted units will be getting commands. So. Okay. Not sure if this is the most optimal configuration, but that's what I'm going to go with. First up, mounted charge against Britomartus and his remaining forces. 4 dice with leader bonus.
Oof.
And unhorsed.
It's going through some horses.
But he lives.
Right, he will fall back to there.
Wise decision. Because Marcellus will show no quarter and will attack those light forces with 4 dice. They've got nowhere to evade, so here we go. 2 hits and a retreat which they can ignore.
Okay. 2 hits. Here's their 2 dice back. Nothing.
All right. Going after that Auxilia with 4 dice. With leader bonus again. 2 hits.
All right. And 2 back. Or 3 back, excuse me. 3.
Yep.
Get a retreat.
Why? And then our unnamed leader here will press the attack against the Auxilia with 4 more dice.
Wipe them out.
And get the 2 more hits he needs.
All right.
He will press the attack. Scoring 2 hits and a retreat.
Very nice.
That is all. Perhaps I should have done the research for the next battle, just in case. That's what I did early. I almost thought about doing that this week, just in case this one went fast.
That's all right. All right, let's do...
But it's only 4 banners. This could be the comeback.
It could be.
Could have that double time, or even a line command.
Well, let's do
But
2 in the center here. And I think we're going to do those 2. We're going to have the warriors charge over here. And the auxiliary move to there.
all right.
Okay. So the warriors will come after Marcellus here. With 4 dice plus... Oh, they're running away, eh? 4 dice plus leader... Oh, don't get the plus leader. So 4 dice, looking for triangles only.
What?
That was a fantastic evade.
Wow.
They are loyal to the very end. Run away, Marcellus. Oh, no, running away. Oh, that's right, just 2, right. Okay, so here's a check on Marcellus. He's okay. All right. And now these Auxilia, they see that across the battle. Like, we can do that!
And they are going to be disappointed.
Oh, really? Okay, 3 dice. Here we go, baby. Yeah!
Oh! Oh,
I told you they could do that. I think these games are even sweeter when there's the tension of only 4 banners and how quickly that race is.
All right, well, roll for the roll for the council.
Here's the leader. He's okay.
Okay. All right, so he will go back 1, 2, 3. These guys done. Well, I let my arrogance get the better of me and paid the butcher's price.
All right, I think that is probably too little too late, but we'll see if those pikemen can hold out. There we go.
2 on the left,
Yeah.
being those 2. Three dice with leader bonus against your light infantry. Can't evade.
Oh, there it is. Well done, sir. Okay.
All I have are order unit cards. I drew that, I drew a handful, and it's mostly order left units. That's why I kept trying to retreat back to the left so I wouldn't get stuck without any units to activate.
Right.
And then I got that one mounted charge card on the first draw.
Well, that without a doubt, that alone for this scenario is just devastating between the setup and the +1 and just all those leaders on horses right there. I mean, that was 75% in one charge right there.
Yeah.
I had this waiting in the wings, but I never got a chance to use it. I drew that from the beginning, so I was kind of hoping that Britomartus could make something out of that. But
yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how I'm going to play this.
Well, why don't you take 5 minutes and think about it, and we will reset for the next time.
All right.
Game 2 is now upon us, and I don't know. 6 cards for the Romans. I mean, and you get a mounted charge right from the beginning.
I did have it from the beginning. I got it. That was the first draw after I played my first card. So,
well,
let's see how you fare as brave Marcellus here.
Yes, Marcellus Wallace. All right. Here are 6 cards. 2, 4, 5, and 6.
I have my 4.
Okay. Well, I think I will inspired right leadership.
Okay. Starting things off right.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it will be the leader +4. So why not? So we'll take these 2, and they'll go 1, 2, 3, and I think that one will move there, and we will meet Britomartus in direct combat. But first, we will do some slinging. So these lights, which did not move, they will throw javelins, 2 dice at Britomartus, and get nothing. And then
He's got that fancy armor apparently.
It does. It's glinting the sun, so their aim is completely off. Here's 1 die, and we get a hit. Hurrah! The other one says we can hit him. Watch.
Let's hope his bedazzled armor can save him.
Here we go. 2 dice. Ooh, very close.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey?
Now we will. Let's see. I think we will start with this unit here, going after your auxilia.
All right.
So I have 3.
They can't do anything.
That's right. 3
Well, they can't evade, so they'll stand and take it.
That's right. 3 dice plus leader bonus. Only a retreat.
But they can retreat.
They can retreat, and we will come forward and meet that retreat with more force. So 3 dice again. This time 2 hits.
Respond in kind with 3 dice. And get a hit. And roll 2 dice to see if we get that unnamed centurion.
No.
We do not.
Right, and then finally, the title bout here. Marcellus versus Britomartus. He's been weakened by javelin fire. Can he be finished? We have 3 dice plus leader bonus. And he is finished. Unholst. Here's 1 die. And killed!
And history repeats itself.
It does. Marcellus will then advance and battle again. against those guys. So once again, 3 dice. Lead
I
a
guess
bonus.
that's the real trick. Can the Roman player win this in one turn?
Yeah, that is the challenge. Here we go. 3 dice. 2 more hits.
3 back at you. Nothing.
All right. That is all.
Line command. Activating those units. And just do this. Alright, so we'll just start up here and work our way down. Auxilia against your cavalry.
I believe they'll stand.
Alright, here come 3 dice. A hit and a retreat which you can't ignore.
We shall ignore. Well, I don't know. We'll find out. Give me a leader check.
It's true.
Okay. So he does.
Another double, just not the right double.
That's right. We will put them back at 3 dice plus leader bonus for Rome, and we will hit and retreat.
The second Auxilia will follow up. What will your brave centurion do now?
They will stand again, I think.
Oh, all right. 3 dice. You've only got 1 unit left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
He's unhorsed.
Unholst.
But he lives.
He does, and he will fall back to here.
Well, Auxilia, when they win,
They can only advance.
only advance. Don't do that. Continue the fight.
We will
3 dice.
stand again.
Here you go. Just 2.
Just 2. Leader check. He's good. All right, 3 dice back. And nothing.
Nothing. Wow. All right. And then my naked spearmen will also attack. What will your centurion do now?
I think we will retreat, or we'll evade on this one.
Okay, so 2 dice. Only triangles will count. But I only needed 1.
That's right. Just like that. Tied up. Oh! You're such a bastard. Man, I just... Grr. Okay. That's fine. We can make this work.
Useless card.
Okay. All right. The cry runs out. I am Spartacus.
Oh. All right.
Let's do 6 dice. What do we get?
So 1 medium and 1 light.
Well, that's not good. So it will have to be... All right. Well, it's got to be these. So we're going to see if we can't finish this.
You've got a light adjacent to my lights, too.
I know.
All right.
I got a plan. All right. So he's going to move up. And we'll start here. All right. So we're going to get 4 dice now, plus leader bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And we get a hit.
Ah,
Whew.
just barely.
Just barely.
Just barely. All right, game is tied.
He will advance, move 1 more, and then attack.
Nowhere to evade.
That's right. So 4 dice again, leader bonus. 1 hit, 2 retreats. That helps.
All right, so I'm going to take a hit. Can't ignore I can ignore 1 retreat, but I can't ignore the other one, so that's going to result in 2 casualties. as the Roman horse tramples my men down, and you finish the job.
Well, you now have nowhere to retreat, so you may desperation battle back with 2 dice.
Oh, here we go. 2 dice then. Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. And then finally,
That would have been sweet.
that would have been sweet.
Could have gotten that leader kill.
All right. So now these lights here, it's all on them. 3 dice plus leader bonus. Here we go.
Oh, yes. 2 dice back.
Unbelievable. And they fight back. All right. That's not what we wanted, but we like to keep it intriguing for people. Uh-oh.
3. Auxilia's just going to get out of the way,
Of course they are.
and the warriors are going to charge.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're definitely evading that one.
All right. 4 dice. 1 hit.
All right, and we
And
prudently
2 dice for the leader bonus, or the leader hit, but Marcellus lives. All right. Now, okay, that was foolish. I'll admit that, but I didn't have any cards if you're watching. Well, okay. Yeah. All right. I know what the comments are going to say, and you're right. I should have moved the vulnerable unit out of the way. I could have done it with my center card, but I got greedy. We all knew he was going to evade. I get that. Heat of the moment.
I love where
trying for something dramatic, and I knew, yep, you're absolutely right. I deserve your scorn. Okay.
we're talking back to the comment section before the comment section. Oh man, I love this game. All right, let us do 4 in the center.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay. We'll start with the medium cav here against yours. So it would be 3 dice plus leader. There it is.
There it is.
Good game. That one, very, very exciting.
And I just drew that.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been really painful. Looking at the commandsandcolors.net site for this, they measure, you can input your game results, and this one is 74% Roman, 26%.
Wow, that's not as much as I would have thought.
I
It would
thought,
be much
yeah,
better.
I thought it'd be 80 or 90%, but clearly the second game shows that anything can happen.
It's 4 banners,
Right.
so it could swing either way. One bad Roman turn, and they could be overexposed.
That's right.
So
your final score then is 7-5 is our final on this one. So really fun, tight scenario. I mean, I didn't think you throw some horses in there, this will be over in 10 minutes. And yes, it is fast, but there are certainly some good decisions that are made to try to optimize what you get, because
and one poor one.
I wouldn't say that. But with the Roman, with 6 cards, though, you also get the danger of, it's like reverse card starving. You can get 6 cards of utter trash, and there's not really an optimal way to get rid of that. But, with 4 cards, there's less chance that you get a bunch of crap, but,
Well, I did get that, so.
Right, yeah. I had right from the beginning, I had the order right leadership, and I also had a leadership in a section, which I considered using, but I figured I would try to activate that entire flank since they were all connected. And and then I just had some, just section cards left in the center now. And then I got the Order Light troops, but the big gem that I had right from the beginning was a counterattack. So I was waiting for something, one of your great cards uh, that would come out of nowhere, and then I could copy it. But having that I am Spartacus was certainly evocative of the moment when the Romans are like, yes, let's do it. Um, yeah. Final thoughts?
Fun, quick,
Yep.
entertaining. So,
I could certainly see them using this whenever we get back to real conventions and gaming gatherings and things like that. If you had a little 1 day commands and colors face-to-face tournament, this would be a great seeding one. You could just throw a couple of new players in there and have them run through it and a couple times, and then whoever did better with banners, he gets seated a little bit higher in the competition bracket or something. So it's great because it's there's a lot of possibilities in it.
mhm.
So, well, then we will move on from our first Celtic War here. We'll put a pin in this one. We'll close these three scenarios, and we will now move on to the Cimbrian War, which is, I think, 5 scenarios representing the big mass Gallic migration through Germany from
And,
and coming down and just really taking it to Rome from all directions.
yeah,
That's gonna
100 years later. So
Yes.
we're skipping ahead.
So they're gonna take it on the chin for a bit, and then I think after that, then we move on to sort of the slave revolts that we are familiar with. Speaking of Spartacus, but we hope you enjoyed tonight's quick tete-a-tete, and as Peter said, feel free to leave any of your comments down there in the bottom. We value and cherish your feedback each and every week when we publish these things. So if you've not liked or subscribed, take a moment to click those buttons there, and yeah, give us your constructive feedback and whatever. If you've played the scenario and you enjoy it, we'd love to hear about your experiences with it. But thank you, sir, for a great game tonight,
Thank you.
and we will see you all here next week. Have a good one.
Good night.